Imagine that you have a bull, and that you keep it in a stable. If you leave the door open, the bull will wander out, looking for food. It may find food, but a lot of the time it will get into trouble by grazing in cultivated fields. The owners of these fields will beat it with sticks and throw stones at it to chase it away, but it will come back again and again and suffer repeatedly because it doesn't understand the notion of field boundaries. It is just programmed to look for food and to eat it wherever it finds something edible. The bull is the mind, the stable is the heart where it arises and to where it returns. And the grazing in the fields represents the mind's painful addiction to seeking pleasure in outside objects. Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi said that most mind control techniques forcibly restrain the bull to stop it moving around. But they don't do anything about the bull's fundamental desire to wander and get itself into trouble. You can tie up the mind temporarily with japa or breath control, but when these restraints are loosened, the mind just wanders off again, gets involved in more mischief and suffers again. You can tie up a bull, but it won't like it. You will just end up with an angry, cantankerous bull that will probably be looking for a chance to commit some act of violence on you. Bhagavan likens self-inquiry to holding a bunch of fresh grass under the bull's nose. As the bull approaches it, you move away in the direction of the stable door, and the bull follows you. You lead it back into the stable, and it voluntarily follows you because it wants the pleasure of eating the grass that you are holding in front of it. Once it is inside the stable, you allow it to eat the abundant grass that is always stored there. The door of the stable is always left open, and the bull is free to leave and roam about at any time. There is no punishment or restraint. The bull will go out repeatedly, because it is the nature of such animals to wander in search of food. And each time they go out, they will be punished for straying into forbidden areas. Every time you notice that your bull has wandered out, tempt it back into its stable with the same technique. Don't try to beat it into submission, where you may be attacked yourself. And don't try to solve the problem forcibly by locking it up. Sooner or later, even the dimmest of bulls will understand that, since there is a perpetual supply of tasty food in the stable, there is no point wandering around outside, because that always leads to sufferings and punishments. Even though the stable door is always open, the bull will eventually stay inside and enjoy the food that is always there. This is self-inquiry. Whenever you find the mind wandering around in external objects and sense perceptions, take it back to its stable, which is the heart, the source from which it rises and to which it returns. In that place it can enjoy the peace and bliss of the self. When it wanders around outside, looking for pleasure and happiness, it just gets into trouble. But when it stays at home in the heart, it enjoys peace and silence. Eventually, even though the stable door is always open, the mind will choose to stay at home and not wander about. Bhagavan said that the way of restraint was not the way of the yogi. Yogis try to achieve restraint by forcing the mind to be still. Self-inquiry gives the mind the option of wandering wherever it wants to, and it achieves its success by gently persuading the mind that it will always be happier staying at home.